monsters ever die.
And this monster starts running right at me.
Annihilated by nuclear bombs.
Beast is not dead. I put 4 bullets into him.
Oh, you're crazy.
But I saw that monster too. All I want is for someone to believe me.
Contaminated.
Face. Horrible. Look like it would scare you to death.
All right, let's get to work.
All right, are you ready? Are you ready for this bullshit?
Yeah, let's hear it.
This is fucking wild. So, Tony was fucking crazy. His name's Tony. We'll just call him Tony. I'm not going to use his last name. I doubt he'll ever stumble upon this podcast, so I doubt he's going to...
Tony!
I don't know. I don't think you ever met him. I worked with him when I was doing maintenance work.
Okay.
But he was fucking crazy. He was insane. Dude was like missing his 2 front teeth and the top and the bottom, got knocked out in a fight or something like that. But God forbid if he ever found out it was your birthday, because
What?
he would. All right, so here's what he would do. Tony was not shy about getting naked. So he would find out, yeah. So he would find out it's your birthday, and then he would get butt-ass naked, and then take like a bed sheet and like tie it around his neck like a cape, but then cover up.
Oh, no.
And then he come walking in the room, and he'd be like, "Does this look like Superman to you?"
Oh.
And like put his leg up, so he would go,
That's terrible.
butt-ass naked.
Happy birthday! That's terrible.
Like, I remember one time we were like working out. We were doing curls, right? And he just wanted to mess with us. And me and my buddy were doing curls. We're just, swapping the weight back and forth, keeping pace with each other. And he comes up. He's like, "Hey man, let me get a set." And he comes over. And he was behind me. He's like, "Let me get a set." And I turned around. I was like, "Yeah, sure, man." And I backed up. And when I backed up, I noticed he was butt ass naked.
Oh,
He goes, "Let me get some curls."
oh no.
Completely naked.
That's horrible.
But he was a good dude. He was a good dude. He was just, dude was crazy, man. Dude was absolutely crazy. But he was a good dude.
No, I don't think I ever met Tony.
You would remember Tony.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I would remember that. That sounds like a character that would stick out to me.
So, welcome in everybody. This is Beyond the
Hello.
Shadows. We are a paranormal podcast, comedy podcast. We dig through the shit so you guys don't have to. My name is Victus.
I'm Aeon.
And it is time for it's supposed to have been our end of the month rapid fire episode, but like we said last week, I did have a schedule change, so we did have to move around. So we're recording currently on a Sunday night as opposed to Thursday night. So if this works,
And slightly earlier, the sun is out still.
yeah. Well, it's not here. It's been storming like crazy, but
Yeah.
I'm an hour ahead of you, so
Mm-hmm.
it's I think we're actually just getting dark now.
Yeah,
But
normally by the time we start, all the windows are dark in my house. So
oh yeah, it's usually we're like an hour or so later than this. I feel a little bit
Mhm.
better, mostly because I'm not working nights at Walmart anymore. But
Yes.
I got
Amen.
out of the machine finally, and I will say this: I did not realize how badly I was being treated at Walmart until I went and got a job where they treat you like a good person.
Well, I think one, you get used to the job that you're at, right? But also, you're always going to see a difference like that when you have a corporation big enough that people are literally an employee number,
Yeah,
as opposed to a place that employs even like 10 people.
right.
It's still going to be way different. I mean, you can't help but interface with your employees because there's not that many of you. And you just have to treat them and run it differently because I think you're more answerable because you're right there.
Yeah. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6 or 7 of us in this entire company now. So
Oh, okay. So yeah.
it's great.
like- I mean,
it's much better.
We have to run our businesses very differently, being small businesses, than what larger businesses tend to get away with. I mean, I remember we had some conflict at the motorsports shop, and Paul was like, "Oh, well, what does it say in the employee handbook?" I was like, "We haven't written one." He's like, "Well, I guess now we'll have to."
Yeah.
'Cause he's like, if it's not, if we haven't told them that, if it's not written that we can't really fire them for
Right,
it. I mean,
yeah.
we can, but so he was like, yeah, employee handbook, attendance thing, stuff like that.
I told them that I was like, we're going to see how well I do. I was like, I want to do this type of work. It's what I'm good. I'm good at working with my hands. I always have been.
Same.
And
Same.
I was like, this is kind of right on my alley. If y'all just give me a shot, they gave me a shot. And I was like, I don't know what it is. I usually don't play well with others. I was so grumpy at Walmart that they put me in a spot in the corner by myself. And that's where I stayed for almost 2 years. And I just didn't like working with people. But here I'm working with everybody every day. And I was like, I don't know. I just get along with you guys. And, they're just regular people. Just, they're just like me. They, a bunch of them got a bunch of tattoos and piercings. And they're just paying their bills, man.
See, my impression of you has always been that you do play well with others.
I put up a good front.
Well, I mean, but I'm saying, but I mean, but you do. You can get jobs done in a group, and but it's if you're not happy at work.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's because like I like to think of it, even myself, even with the performing and stuff that I do, the reality is, if you were to ask me, I'm really an introvert that's learned to play the character of an extrovert for the sake of my art.
Yeah.
Right, for the sake of performing and doing that sort of thing. But it's like a switch. I'm on now, right? And it is exhausting.
Yeah.
By the time you're done, like by the time I'm done with the weekend, like besides
yeah.
the sleep that I lost, really I'm just like brain drained from the being on all the time.
Yeah.
As a performance piece, more than that I'm just naturally like that.
And
So
I've
I
been
get
working
that.
nights for so long that I didn't realize how being around groups of people affect me until yesterday. We went to the mall yesterday. There's a huge mall, not like the one over by you. It's like
Mhm.
4 of those put together, massive.
And still used and relevant.
Oh yeah, it was.
Because ours is not.
There were so many people there. Like, it was jumping. Like when I flew back from my grandpa's funeral, my layover was in Atlanta, and that's like the second biggest airport in the country.
Mhm.
And I was like, people everywhere. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And we walked in, and I was like, this is just like that Atlanta airport. And we got done, and like I don't smoke my cigarettes in front of my wife. And
Yeah.
we get out to the car, and I was like, look, this isn't because of you. This is because we just spent 2.5 hours around hundreds of people I don't know, and I just sat there and smoked a cigarette. And I was like, okay, I'm good. Let's go get some fucking tacos. But I got home yesterday, and my ass went to sleep, and I slept in for the first time in 2 years almost.
Yeah.
Oh man, I slept. And then we went out today. We went to Marshall's and then grocery shopping. Came home, went to sleep again. Sleeping ass
That's
dude.
nice.
I can do that now because I work day shift.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's nice when you have that option. I mean, that's usually that's what I plan to do all kinds of things on Saturday, but the truth is, I come home after yoga, and I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
And I'll make food, and I'll fiddle around with some maker project at home,
Yeah.
and intend to go to the studio and not make it. It'll be like 2:00, and I'll be like, oh, I'll just go downstairs and watch something and kind of relax. I'm out. I'm asleep for like 3 hours, and I'm like, oh, it's dinner. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Let's have dinner.
I could eat. I could eat.
I can
Those
eat.
are my favorite words. I love it. I could eat. I could eat something. Haley's always asking me, "Are you hungry? You want?" It's like, you're really asking me that question? I could always eat something. I just ate and I could eat again right now.
You used to tell me that shit all the time.
I could eat.
You hungry, man? I could
You
eat.
hungry? Yeah. Let's make some ramen.
You just ate. I mean, I could eat.
Always hungry. Always. So, like we said last week, schedule change. So, if this goes well, Sundays are going to be our normal recording nights. So that means we're going to upload Mondays. It'll probably be late Mondays. The episodes will drop. So, thank you for those of you sticking through it. I know it's a lot, but we're working on it. We're sponsortilities, and we are adults. We gotta do what we gotta do. So.
Yeah, and it's early. I mean, you know, we figured there'd be a change somewhere along there.
I mean, what is this? Episode 8? 9?
Yep.
Episode
This
8?
is
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
8 because we missed a week. So this is episode 8.
So yeah, I like the format with the end of the month doing the rapid fire episode. It's a nice break from having to do research because research is
and there's a
exhausting.
lot of good stuff out there.
Oh, there's
I mean,
tons. Social
you know,
media.
stuff you found with cryptids last time was good. And you know, it was surprisingly easy to find, you know, not terrible videos of UAP stuff. And you know, a shout out to a different YouTube and Instagram, UAP Files.
Oh yeah.
They always have good stuff, and they're definitely plugged in with some people, because I just saw an update on one of their Instagrams where they had done a video of some craft over like a field,
Yeah.
and then one of their guys went to the field
Yeah.
and was like down in the bowl of this valley where it was, so that you could see how tall the trees were, so you could get a reference for how big the craft
yeah.
was. It was very cool.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
So I've came across them in my travels. When you find something that has good videos, because you can generally tell when you see a video, you're like, oh, well, that's just fake. But when you
Yeah.
see consistency, good videos, and you're
Mhm.
even it gives you a half a second pause to like, is that a real one or is that not?
Mm-hmm.
It's worth checking out. So I have came across UAP Files on my travels before, and
Yeah, they're
I like
they're very good. I follow them, and they consistently have good footage, at least worth contemplating and looking at. I mean, I won't say that every single one of them, like, oh, that's definitely, you know, but
Yeah.
but they have thought-provoking videos that you cannot immediately rule out. They try to make, I think they make a big effort to not post up a bunch of garbage just to get views. I think they're really you know, trying to make a catalog of interesting phenomena.
yeah, this so this week, this is Aeon's week. He really wanted lots of UFO videos, and it would
Good
be like
UFO video.
I would wake up and I would have like 43 notifications. All of these videos, and then I would wake up, first thing I do is roll over, check my phone, just like anybody else. And it has been so consistent in the last week that I would wake up, my wife would be like, what did he send you this time? And so she was watching them with me. And I'd be like, oh, that's a good one. And she'd be like, oh, that one gave me the chicken pimples. She's got some weird word for it. I forget exactly what it is. But
So my morning routine is I hear the dog wake up. Paul takes him out because I take care of him all day during the day,
yeah.
because he comes to work with me. And Paul will get up and take him out and stuff, and then we'll make coffee, and then we will be having coffee. Paul will be watching everything from surgery videos to you know, he's a priest, so he'll watch upheaval stuff in various church communities and that sort of thing. And I am doom scrolling Instagram early.
It's my new favorite term, by the way, doom scrolling.
Yeah, doom scrolling. Yeah, so for me, Instagram is just immediately, as soon as I scroll 2 pages, it's immediately doom scrolling. I'm just blank face looking. But because I scroll so far past all the people who put stuff up all the time, I end up getting to see the stuff that, like, is a little less. That's a little harder to run across. You really got to scroll kind of deep. So
Yeah.
that's how I came across. It's always in the morning
Yeah.
or late at night because I can't sleep. And I'm like, ooh, look at this one.
Yeah.
Let's send that and send that and send that. Oh, and mix in with all the memes.
Y'all think we're joking? I think he sent me at least 100 videos in the last week.
Yep.
And this is the cream of the crop, creme de la creme. We weeded
there's
out the
what?
ones that looked a little fake. We left a few in there that might be fake, but it makes for good conversation.
There's what, 15 or 20?
Yeah, we're averaging about 15, 20 good ones every month.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
so this is good because I'm not really on Instagram. I do the social media for the podcast, and that's it. 90% of my doom scrolling is either TikTok or Facebook, and so I have like 4 accounts for TikTok because each account has its own algorithm, and I like, one time I'm gonna want to watch Japanese videos, so lots of anime stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah,
that I
makes
got an
sense.
account for that, and then I got an account for art, and then I got an account for paranormal stuff. So I switch between those, but then Facebook, I might just see like a cool video and watch it, or just might decide, oh, I want to watch them restore this 40s truck, and my algorithm gets all screwed up. So I'm not really getting
Yeah.
stuff lately. So this is great. You took a great burden off of me this week because I started a
Cool,
new job.
cool.
So it was a big help.
I mean, you had to wade through them, so I mean, I was grabbing anything that looked interesting.
yes.
I do think though that the paranormal stuff is better on TikTok.
Mm.
Like not the UAP UFO stuff, but the like paranormal and spooky talk.
Yeah.
That stuff is way better on TikTok, though I see a lot of fake stuff there, like people acting like they're trapped in houses and,
Oh yeah.
and stuff like that.
Some of them are junk.
But as far as paranormal stuff, I see way better paranormal stuff on TikTok.
But let me go ahead and plug the Instagram right quick. We are at Beyond Shadows Podcast on Instagram. That is our handle. If you guys, or gals, or non-binary, what have you, if you persons find awesome paranormal videos and you want to hear us talk about it on the podcast, send it to us on Instagram at Beyond Shadows Podcast, and we will talk about it.
Definitely.
Become involved. We're good dudes. We'll fucking talk. We'll look at your stuff.
Crowdsource the videos.
Yeah, become involved. If you want to be part of it, we'll make you a part of it. So don't be scared to. We're still not getting emails, but that's okay. We're having fun, so that
One
matters. So we're gonna start. We got tons of look at all these. Majority of these are UFO videos. I'm very excited about these.
Oh yeah, there's one creature video.
Yeah, it's right
I
here,
know.
and it is
There's
good.
one creature video, and it's if it's fake, it's good.
Man, it's fucking spooky. If somebody
It's
got up
fake,
there and it's fake, kudos to this guy for climbing this fucking tree.
It took me a minute to even realize what they were looking at
Yeah,
until it like turns. And
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah,
what is that?
Yeah.
And some of these look like they could be missile tests, and like there's one in here that makes me think of like the Phoenix Lights, like how they tried to say it was
flares.
flares. There's
Yeah.
one in here that looks like more like what I would have thought.
Yeah,
Military
I think we
flares
kept
would've
that
been
one.
like- Yeah, okay, because and that's really why I grabbed it, because I was like, that looks like what flares would actually look like. That
Yeah.
seems, but
Oh, before we get started, I want to share one little thing. We finally got mistagged because there's like 15 other Beyond the Shadows podcast. We finally got mistagged because we actually have the handle on Facebook Beyond the Shadows podcast. One of the other Beyond the Shadows podcasts went to tag themselves and accidentally tagged us. So I was like, I woke up one morning and I was like, who is this? And I was like, oh, it's a live stream. Cool. Somebody was talking about our podcast on a live stream, and I'm going through it, and I was watching and listening. I ran it at double speed so I could listen to it really quickly. And I was like, why did they tag us? And then I pulled
Free
their video
publicity.
full screen, and in the center was a logo. It said Beyond the Shadows Paranormal Podcast. I was like, oh, nuts. Well,
Is it the one with like some red script on it?
uh,
Because I've seen that one. It's like Beyond Shadows, and then podcast is in like red.
it was. I don't want to talk shit about it, but their format was live.
Okay.
So they had like the way ours is, like we're not in the same room, but
Right.
they were in the same room and they had a set, and then they had like their chat was scrolling across the bottom, and then
Oh, okay.
somebody with just a microphone was reading chat, which was kind of weird, but
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody's got to have their thing, I guess.
it was on Facebook. I was like, if this is what the other podcasts are like, I think we're going to be doing okay. I feel like we're doing good. I like our format. Our format is good. But that was a fun experience to wake up to. It's like,
Everybody gets to tune into Victus and Aeon's weekly cuss and discuss. I mean,
cuss and discuss.
yeah.
There we go. We
That's-
got a handle. That's
cuss
it.
and
The cuss and
paranormal
discuss.
cuss and discuss.
Yeah. So shout out to my brothers and sisters stuck at Walmart. I'm sorry, y'all. If you're listening, my thoughts and prayers are with you. Stay strong. So we're gonna get into this.
We got quite a few Walmartians listening.
Walmartians. Yes, there we go. Lost property. You know who you are. Message me anytime, bro. I got you. So we're gonna jump right into the first one. We're not gonna run audio on these. So if you're listening on Spotify, we are gonna upload video. So if you're listening on Spotify, you might want to get to a place where you can kind of prop your phone up and watch what we're doing. We are gonna do some crazy fucking videos. So
You gonna flip the grid?
yeah, we're flipping the grid, man. Let me tab over to our layout. And there we go. Yeah, that'll work-ish. I think I gotta kill one of these overlays. Whoop. Whoop. All right, there we go.
So you doing this first one that says orange burning
Yeah,
orb
we're gonna-
slash U.
We're just gonna
After
start
the
right
end.
here. We're gonna work our way down. So,
Okay.
this is UFO _ life _ on Instagram. So they said UAP researcher Roy Vernet releases video of orange burning orb captured in the Amazon. Credit UAP researcher Roy Vernet. He's been investigating paranormal activity in the Amazon and has caught this orange burning orb on video, similar to what Chris Blesdo. Yeah, again, a UFO _ life on Instagram. Check this thing out.
Yeah, I like this one.
Grainy as hell. The grainy thing is what's tripping me up. I don't understand why it's so grainy, but
Yeah, I don't know if it's zoomed in, but so what we're seeing is, I mean, it has the shape sort of a comet, but it's orange and it's leaving these weird tracers on the screen that look like little sand grains.
Yeah.
almost. And I don't know what sort of camera that's affecting, but in short, it's at first falling like a comet, and then it doubles back like
Yeah.
2 or 3 times back the way it came, and then continues forward, and then doubles back in like sort of a double curly Q, and then disappears.
yeah, that's the weird thing is it doesn't go in a straight line. So when it does turn around, it goes back in the same direction, but not in the same path. And
And it goes back 2 or 3 times as fast as it's going forward.
so it's like it's falling and then it stops, zips back up, falls, zips back up, falls, zips back up, falls. Oh, so at the end it zips forward. So
Mhm.
I'm assuming this is lateral movement, like going side to side in the sky. It is weird,
Yeah, I
man.
mean,
it is weird.
I guess if it were heading towards you, but moving laterally,
Yeah.
that would explain what this looks like. Because I guess the way I'm seeing it, or the way it looks in the video, right, is it's traveling, horizontally and then backtracking over its path. But we might not be looking at the track of the path
Yeah.
head on.
Yeah, because if it's coming more towards the camera, it's gonna seem
Yeah.
like it's just moving slowly. So it could be angled a little more towards the camera. It's hard to get a good reference on this. It says it's over the Amazon. Uh, I would like to see some tree line, honestly.
Yeah, you don't see anything. It's just black, and you have this orange. Like I said, it's like an orange sparky tracer, but it's leaving.
It's leaving
It's
a
leaving-
trail, which is weird.
Yeah, it's leaving a weird grainy trail, and I think that's why I grabbed it. Actually, is because it's not. It has a weird look to the video, so it made me grab it.
Yeah, it's
Because the trail looks like more than. It doesn't look like fire at all.
it's
I mean,
very
it's leaving a
strange.
tracer like that, but it's a very odd one.
Yeah,
But
it's,
worth checking out because I'd like to know what somebody else thinks of this one because mostly I grabbed it because anytime an object doubles back that fast in the air,
Yeah,
I mean that's usually what people use as markers for UAPs is a craft that moves in a way that like conventional aircraft couldn't, and this obviously a comet couldn't move like this.
oh,
and,
absolutely not. No,
and a mechanical craft couldn't either. So I thought this one felt like it had an air of legitimacy to
yeah,
it.
it's a weird one. I could say that I've never seen movement like this or a video like this. The grainy shit is throwing me off. I don't know if if it's intended to have a tail like that or if that's just an artifacting issue with the video. But it's
I mean, maybe
it's still
because he's
very
shooting a
interesting.
video in this,
Yeah,
shooting a video of a screen, but it's not flickering like a screen. So I don't know what that is. It could be that almost looks like a laptop screen that's old
yeah.
and it's leaving weird artifacts from the light. But either way, it's still a a sizable orb leaving.
Oh yeah, it's a wild video. I would like to
Leaving a
see
lid.
something in the foreground, like some trees or something. That would have been great to catch a reference. But
You can't really. I mean, this could also easily be a firefly with a bad camera. I mean, I don't think that's what this is, but I'm saying because there's nothing to like you said, there's nothing to reference. Like
yeah,
I don't know. It could also honestly, with no reference and a bad filter, it could be a dude with a torch out in the woods swinging
yeah.
around and some bad camera work. But I don't think it's what it is. But yeah, with no reference, it's kind of hard to tell.
It's a cool one, regardless. So, let's see. Before we get started, so yeah, I know this one. Says so. This is posted by Alien Bioma on Instagram. Alien Bioma, one of the most controversial, still unexplained phenomena ever recorded, in which a UAP/UFO appears to phase into the mountain. In this place that I'm not going to try to pronounce in France. So it's a little weird, but you really got to look because this is, I think it's drone footage. Yeah, drone footage. And yeah, there it is. You see the little,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just bloop disappears into the bluff, man. It is flat UFO shaped. It's traditional saucer shaped for sure.
Yeah, it's a disc, and you can see the light reflecting off of the top of it. And they've zoomed way in and slowed the video way down, almost frame by frame, and you just see it.
If you look, you still see it when he slows
really?
it down. Yeah, watch. Okay, so watch when it slows it down the last time. It's like when he gets next to the bluff, he's out of the sunlight. Okay, so watch. You'll see it's still there. See it?
Oh yeah. Do you think it's a hang glide?
No, absolutely not. So watch. It's like it goes into the shadow of the bluff. See, it's right there.
Let me pull it up on my phone because I can't really tell. I got my screen set back kind of far.
Can I go full screen on this? No, it's not letting me go full screen. No. I would love to do this on full screen. So
I'm watching it.
So the last time,
Oh yeah. But it looks more like a ghosted outline of it. It doesn't look like it just disappears out of the sun. It looks like it's a little more than that.
So I feel like it's outside of it when it gets that close to the bluff, it loses its sunlight. Because if you could see the shadow of the mountain there, I'm wondering if it's just out of the sunlight and it's just a pale object. But it is very faint. It is still there. That is interesting.
Yeah, I thought this one was cool because of, all the, there's reports at Skinwalker Ranch of crafts disappearing into, voids in the sides of cliffs,
Oh yeah.
out there. And I think there's another one too where one comes out of the mountain, or out of a volcano. Can't remember which.
Yeah,
but-
I decided not to put the volcano one in there because that
Okay.
one I did some really close looking at it, and I feel like that one was edited, like it was altered because I caught some artifacting, just the moments where it transitioned between the volcano and not the volcano, and artifacting is
Videos shouldn't look different.
right. It should be consistent, for sure.
Yeah, if you see a bunch of fuzzy, blurry spots around where something starts and stops in a video, generally it means editing, even in modern video.
Yeah, it was like really looking at it, it felt like it was crystal clear until you got to the point where it would transition and then there was artifacting all of a sudden. So I just felt like it was for integrity's sake not to show that one. But
That
this
makes
is
sense.
interesting to say the least. So so looking at it slow down is cool, but look how fast it's moving in the original
Oh, yeah.
video. That thing is moving,
it's-
man.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have been able to. I feel like it wouldn't be able to avoid the mountain or turn. I mean,
Now,
that would have been if that was any conventional craft, that's a crash.
yeah. And if you look, so when the video starts over again, it's going straight, drops down a little bit, and then goes again. It's just
Yeah.
barely imperceptible, but it's a weird movement. So right at the beginning here, see its dives.
Oh yeah, and then flattens
Yeah.
almost into a perfectly flat track, like it was aiming for something.
Yeah, it's a weird one, man. So
Huh.
this was 2014, September.
So
Yeah,
not
that's
that. I mean, I guess that's 20 years. I was about to say not that old. It's 10 years old now.
yeah.
I mean, but that's a pretty good video. I mean, the craft itself, you can't make out a lot of detail, but
Yeah, he's off at a distance, so you're not really going to see a lot anyway. But
That's-
it's good, man. It's like I don't see anything here that's making me go, "Oh, it's fake." You know what I mean?
yeah. No, I liked that. I liked that one a lot. Actually, the first time I watched it, I was looking at the wrong part of the screen and I didn't see the craft because it's so tiny in the first playthrough
Yeah.
until they zoom way in. Even with the arrow, it's hard to track.
Yeah.
until they
There's
zoom
no
in.
good way to edit the arrow on there.
But
Unless
it's a big
you're-
cliff. I mean,
Yeah, it's one of the better ones for sure.
Okay, this is the one that made me think of.
The Phoenix
Flare.
Lights.
Yeah.
So this is from Alien_Verity. They didn't say much about it, just a bunch of hashtags. So we're gonna go with it and see what it looks like. So you want to go ahead and narrate this one?
Yeah, so it starts out with 4 lights and then turns into 3 lights. We're looking over a desert, and the lights progressively wink out. And almost in the video, it looks like there are smoke trails.
Yeah.
Sometimes, depending on how the camera moves, coming up from the lights themselves, and they only go up and sink lower. And the last one to stay lit really doesn't move. But that was what made me feel like these were more like the flares that the military claimed
Yeah.
in the Phoenix Lights. Now it may not be, because in this last shot there's just a lot of them, and it's not dark out. Not really. I mean, it's like sunset-ish. 'Cause
Yeah.
the sky's turning like pink and blue. But why would they be setting off a bunch of military flares, but it is a big mesa, and there's a big dark area down there, right below
Oh yeah, those definitely look like
where
smoke
these are
trails.
on. But yeah, you see like whenever the
Just
whenever
barely.
the focus catches it
Yeah.
just right. Yeah, you can see the smoke trails going up from, which is kind of what made me feel like they were flares of some kind. Now, whether or not they were military rocket flares or just like, hand-fired flares, I don't know. But
So usually when flares are dropped, they're out of a moving vehicle and they'll drop poo 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 poo. So you have a row of them, and they'll slowly progress downward, depending on which one was dropped first. But this is like a group. As far as I know, there's no military equipment. It's just gonna drop 5 or 6 of them at the same time.
well, so they also have mortar flares,
Yeah, but this doesn't.
which is what I was thinking of.
See, but I think mortar flares will go up and do like fireworks. Like they'll blow up, poof, and like 4 or 5 will flower out.
From a single one.
Yeah, but they'll be in a pattern. These are not in a pattern.
No, they're not. They're not. I mean, that's and so many UAP stuff seems to occur out over mostly uninhabited desert areas.
Yeah, so I'm just
So
now.
also what caught my eye.
I'm just now seeing these comments. Everybody's like, "These are flares."
Yeah. So I guess I didn't read any of the comments on any of these things when I rolled them off, so that makes sense.
Flares.
That was,
Everybody says it
yeah,
looks
that
like
was
flares.
my main thing. Yeah. I think the smoke trails in the first section of the video are kind of the biggest giveaway when the focus and the hit just right.
Yeah, you can see the smoke trail.
You can see 2 or 3 smoke trails coming out, but I would also have videotaped it if I saw lights like that out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah, there's a guy here at the end that says, "Looks like flares. Can barely see the smoke trails."
yeah,
Yeah.
same.
And I feel like that's why at the end of the video they showed a video of a video on a phone, because maybe on this video you won't see the smoke trails.
Right, right. Yeah, I did notice that they're videoing a phone with the video. I was like, oh, why didn't you just send it? But
Yeah. Good try, government. Okay, so this is on Ovnis UFOs 2 on Instagram. Sorry, I destroyed your name. Again, no real description in the video, but we're gonna watch this. I kind of know what this is already, but this is a good video.
so I saw this and thought it was super cool. Is it a kite?
Okay, so if you remember back last rapid fire episode, we were looking at a UFO and you had mentioned, oh, well, look here to the bottom right of the screen. You see a bunch of flashing lights. And we had put together that it was like a music festival or something.
Yeah. It was their center lighting piece
Yeah.
for a music festival hung from like a crane or something.
This is that same UFO.
Is it?
Yeah. Except the
Okay.
shape is a little different, but it's the same one. So I feel like a kite is probably a pretty good guess.
Because it looks pretty far away, but the sort of leaning side to
Yeah,
side, and
it's-
the pattern to it too looks like an LED, rotating
Yeah.
LED display on a flat panel, sort of like, those kites that are like basically giant paragliders.
Yeah.
But they can't quite. I mean, they could lift you off in a stiff wind, but they're just big parasails.
Yeah.
But it's a kite. This makes me think of a parasail kite with LEDs on it.
Oh yeah.
In like almost darkness, so you can't even see the lines going up to it. But the shape of it, the bend of it,
The way it's moving,
Yep.
it's very
that drifting side to side doesn't seem They just happen to choose a light pattern that looks UFO-ish with sort of a central hub
Yeah.
and sort of a disc-like area at the bottom. But if you superimpose a wing slightly canted at an angle, a parawing slightly canted at an angle, it kind of looks like that shape.
Yeah, the second comment, dude says, "Where's the party?"
Yeah.
Oh, conspiracy theorist commented on this one. Should we read this comment?
What's it say? Yeah.
He said, "That's what the government wants you to think, but but I believe it's Project Bluebeam to distract the fact that they have no control over these UFOs. I think about it. It would be scary for us humans if we believe that the government wants us to believe. That's how they control fear, because deep down they know, yet don't want us to know." I've waited for these times to come for years, and let me tell you, not surprised, the truth will be exposed before 2030.
Wow. He was just waiting for a chance to write something.
Yeah.
So, I have a theory.
And then he tagged himself in a comment. Really? Weird.
Of course. He wanted people to see it. So I was thinking about this in my thinking place, the shower in the morning.
Oh yeah,
Of
course.
And I was like, okay, so you have everything from fighter pilots to, other credible sources talking about their encounters with UAPs. You have the government admitting in stages that they've had encounters with things. So I think if you play it out like a game, right? Play out the does the government know about UFOs? Do they not? Game. As a source of power and influence in that. So if the government denies that they know anything about it, it can be twofold. One, they may not know a whole lot factually about it, substantially,
Yeah.
right? Like metric wise. But that serves them in two ways. One, denying that you don't know about it, you can avoid, panic and possible, credibility issues from saying that you do, even if you don't have a lot of substantial evidence. But also, denying that you know anything about it when there's all sorts of evidence out there makes it seem like, you can make a government seem more powerful and more omniscient than it is, because then people get in their head, oh, they're hiding it from us. They delete it from the internet, and they run, counter information campaigns so that, we'll think real ones are fake and fake ones are real. And,
Yeah.
it's this whole spiral. And I think that it has the tendency to make it seem like the government has even more, vast clandestine operations than they may actually have. My guess is that they're putting more money currently into knowing what Iran is doing than they are what UAPs are doing.
Yeah.
Funding wise.
Yeah.
That would be my guess. Funding and manpower wise, I would bet that they're putting more money into what is Russia thinking and doing than what are UAPs doing. But on the other side, let's say they do know a whole lot about it. Still advantageous to have the air of mystery like they don't.
Yeah, because then you could be like, I've touched on this train of thought before. We're going to put information out there, but the only people that are going to believe it's real are the conspiracy theorists. And then we could just say they're crazy. They're conspiracy theorists.
Right.
But and the flip side of that coin is they could be trickle feeding us this information. So this is what I believe is going to happen: is they
For reveal.
Yeah, some of this is real, and those of us that are really paying attention are, you can look at a video and tell if it's fake or not. Like we were pretty easily able to discern that this is like a kite or a drone.
Right.
But there's some that were like, well, shit, I'm not quite sure how that works. So I could see how that would be real, and they're trickle feeding us this information so that way, when disclosure does happen, they could be like,
it's not a completely alien concept.
right? Yeah, it's we've been You remember that video from 2004 that was, yeah, that was a real UFO. And you guys didn't freak out about it then, so why are you freaking out about it now?
Right. Well, and also too to admit, that the U.S. government or any government has had interactions with a species able to travel to our planet from some other habited planet is to admit that there is a species and a power out there that vastly outstrips ours
Yeah.
that we have no way of controlling or defending against. Because if a species is sufficiently advanced to travel that distance, whatever way they may do it, that their technology and their concept of how the universe works far outstrips ours to the point
Yeah.
of being magic.
Yeah.
And so you would have to admit that there's some
Something.
power, force,
Yeah.
or civilization out there that is to us as gods,
Yeah.
right? I mean, not literally, but it far enough removed that it makes no difference, right? They are as powerful as and have technology such as that to us, they would be equivalent to the gods, and that's not something that any government wants to admit, because every government wants to
Right.
give the perception of control
Right.
and the ability to tackle anything that may come.
Well, that's why
So
the
there's a lot of advantages to not admitting to it.
the ancient alien train of thought is popular because they would say in ancient scripts that these gods came down to visit us,
Right.
and you're looking through a lens of a person from 4,000 years ago. They don't know what they're seeing. They
Right.
see some thing come out of the sky covered in lights, and it makes a big billow of dust, so they just assume it was the gods have come down. And I love the ancient alien theory, I really do. It makes sense.
It does in a lot of ways. There's a lot of parallels that when you go back and really read them, especially historical accounts of the pharaohs and their gods, when you really read the details in it, the battles of the gods and things like that sound like nuclear weaponry.
Yeah.
And the craft sound like, they say two wheels and they call it a chariot, but the description doesn't sound like a horse-drawn chariot in
Yeah.
the sky. It sounds like a disc.
Yeah, because at the time,
You know,
that's all they had was a
counter-rotating
chariot.
disc. Right.
that's-
right. So they just called that as a mobile, a device of mobility, right?
Right. And that's where we get the term flying saucer from, because back when they were seen, that was the only thing we had that matched that shape, was a flying saucer.
Right.
It's literally, a flat plate that you put a cup of tea on. You turn it upside down, you get a UFO. And
I don't remember who it was that coined the phrase that technology sufficiently advanced would appear as though magic.
yeah,
But who was that?
I know that quote. I feel like it's like Mark Twain or somebody like that.
So the
Or Nikola
the-
Tesla.
the maybe.
Yeah.
So the next step further from that is a civilization sufficiently advanced would appear as though gods.
yeah.
So, a civilization doing things that we think are not physically possible. I mean, that's a pretty dramatic impact to dump on a civilization all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And so the way, with the ancient alien, theory is, hence why we thought they were gods.
Right. Because they came down out of the sky, made
Yeah.
it.
How else would we rationalize it?
Yeah. There's no good way to do it other than say that they were gods. So
And for them to try to explain themselves as anything else is more work than to just be like, yep, you got it. That's it.
yeah.
That's it. We're gods. We are the gods.
Yep.
Yes. Yep.
Any advanced civilization would hear that G word and be like, "Oh yeah, yep, you got it. We are your creator."
I mean, just so think of like, some of these tribes in the Peruvian Amazon that still haven't had had any real meaningful contact with outsiders.
Yeah.
Think about trying to explain the concept of space-time and how it relates to gravity to them in their language.
Yeah.
Where would you even begin? So it's kind of just easier at, like let's say you're, another civilization coming down from space. If they're like, oh, well, you must be the gods, you came from the sky, to try to instead explain to them, no, I came across space from another planet, which they don't even have a concept of something other than this planet that they're on, other than that it must be the realm of the gods. It's just easier to be like, yeah, that yes, the place outside this planet, yes, the realm of the gods. Yes. Yes.
I'm pretty sure this is an episode of Star Trek. So yeah, it was an episode of Star Trek. Like they were tasked with. So that was part of the initiative of Starfleet, was you don't interfere with.
The Prime Directive.
Yeah, you don't interfere with a civilization that you don't have contact with.
A civilization that is pre-warp drive.
Yeah. So
if a civilization does not show signs of warp technology and the ability to travel between planets, you're not allowed to reveal yourself,
right?
Because it may change their evolution, because they'll think you're a god.
And that's what happened. Is they landed like in an emergency or something, and immediately they were like, oh, the gods have returned, and they started worshiping them, and they were like, well, no, we just need to fix our stuff and we'll be out. And they go to leave, and like the volcano above their village was about to wipe them all out, and somebody was like, no, we can't just leave them, we've got to go down and and so they go and save them, and they're like, okay, so you just fucked this shit all the way up, because now they're going to think that you are the gods because you saved them from a volcano, an unstoppable force. And yeah, Star Trek, the writers of Star Trek were great. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, they started carving the Starship Enterprise into stone.
Yeah. Like
much like,
I think they had like scrolls,
exactly parallel to ancient aliens.
Like they watched them fly away, and they looked at the scrolls and they just threw them down and started drawing the Starship Enterprise in the dirt, and they're like, yes,
zooming out,
yeah, same concept. All right, let's get on to this next one. This one, I like this one a lot because this was actually picked up by a satellite. So this is UFO secrecy on Instagram. Let me go ahead and read this little paragraph. USA, green light on Jupiter taken by Juno mission, which is a satellite that orbits the planet of Jupiter. NASA has explained this mysterious green light as quote-unquote lightning. Now, if that's true, then should we have seen this type of thing regularly and decades ago? I'm just so cynical of anything that says is given a long history of lying their asses off and the complete lack of high-resolution photographs of anything. I have an official NASA photo, which I'm going to post in the coming weeks, of a pipe or long collapsed metal structure hundreds of feet long up and over a hill on the surface of the moon. We're not going to read the rest of this paragraph because it's getting a little conspiracy. But this is satellite imagery of Jupiter, and there is a green light that... Okay, so I've actually seen this video. These are stills from a video, and this thing...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's flying along, and as it passes over this swirl of gases in the atmosphere, it actually descends into the swirl.
Oh,
and
really?
It's a very weird light. Green. So green, when it comes to light, is not a generally naturally occurring color.
No, not unless you're burning some mineral.
Right. So this is way upper atmosphere. If you look, you see how,
and it has to be.
See how it's kind of bleeding into the clouds?
Yeah.
So this specific still is when it was descending down towards the clouds of the planet.
So it comes in above the atmosphere.
Yeah, it comes out way up
in the video.
And then
Okay.
descends down into the upper atmosphere of the planet. But green is not a naturally occurring color when it comes to light, even when it comes to burning specific elements.
Yeah, I mean, you get pretty good greens and fireworks and stuff, but again, you're burning, you're powderizing usually metal oxide
Yeah,
that you're then burning on purpose. But th- I guess my only I guess my only gap here is that I don't know, because the atmosphere is so different on Jupiter.
yeah.
I don't know if it changes how light is perceived near its atmosphere.
The only thing that I could figure is this. So when I like to compare things, I like to compare things like the size of Earth
Mm-hmm.
compared to what's there. So these swirls are absolutely
Mhm.
massive. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah.
so like the big red dot on Jupiter, the storm, the hurricane that's
Mhm.
always running. I think they say you
Yeah.
could fit like 12 or 15 planet Earths inside of it.
Yeah, yeah. So this light would be super massive,
Huge.
and the intensity of the light it's putting off would be incredible to pick it up from the, from orbiting Jupiter itself.
Yeah.
Because to orbit Jupiter, you have to be quite a bit further away than, say, to orbit Earth. Otherwise, the massive gravity of
Yeah.
it would pull the satellite in. So it's even further away than what the distance of upper orbit of Earth would be. By several times. Because I mean, what is it? A couple. How many Earths fit inside Jupiter?
Oh, hundreds.
Hang on. Let me.
Yeah. While you
Let
look
me
that
go-
up,
let
I'm
me
going to
go-
say that if it was lightning, like NASA says, it would be illuminating a lot more of that surface area. You know what I'm saying?
1,300 Earths.
Yeah.
Would fit inside Jupiter. So the gravitational pull of Jupiter would be such that, and one of the reasons we haven't really explored the surface of it, would be such that your outer orbit would be that many orders of magnitude further away
Yeah.
to be able to have a stable orbit and not get pulled in, find the neutral zone to orbit around it and not get pulled into its gravity. So that would make this dot just
Massive.
huge.
Yeah.
This would be like this. I mean, the size of an entire state, like the
Yeah.
entire state of Alaska lit up. Like this would be huge,
Yeah.
huge.
And in order for that to be lightning, it seems awfully, what's the word I want to use here? Condensed to be lightning.
I mean, the brightness of that has got to be equivalent to a nuclear detonation seen from space.
Yeah.
To have that much area and that much light, that's got to be the equivalent of seeing a nuclear weapon go off from space. Except you said in the video it's a continuous light.
Yeah. It doesn't like flicker, nothing. It moves from one side of this dot to the other, and then like 2/3 of the way it descends into it. So what is it?
That's wild.
One of the moons of Jupiter, Europa? Is that right?
Mhm.
They're saying that if any place in the solar system is going to have life, it's going to be Europa.
Yeah, because their thinking is that the tidal gravitation on that planet has got to be basically doing this to the planet all the time.
Yeah.
Right, squishing and pulling, which keeps the center of the planet hot from the friction,
Right.
which warms the core.
Yeah.
And while the surface of it is frozen water, they believe that below it is liquid water. And if you had tidal forces like this, you'd have geothermic forces going on inside of it, which would mean, phosphorus gases and things like that coming up, which is how some of the most primitive life in our oceans started.
Yeah.
The energy you get from these high energy gases coming out of tectonic disturbances.
Yeah.
So they figure that there's got to be something under the waters of Europa. I guess my concern with sending anything to go look is, how much of our own oceans have we even explored?
Right.
And we have ridiculously abundant life.
Yeah.
How much of the ocean do you think you're going to explore? I guess they're hoping it's just riddled with bacteria.
So, I mean, like any science fiction movie worth its salt has explored the idea of Europa. So, one of my very favorite books, I'm a big fan of the Ender's series by Orson Scott Card.
Oh, yeah.
Ender's Game. Everybody's heard of Ender's Game, or at least seen the movie. I've read other books. Huge fan. But they find out later that like the alien race was on Europa, and parts of the atmosphere is breathable. But let's see, what is it? 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah, that's
They
I
also-
read several of those.
Yeah.
Because they jump forward in time by big stretches between the books, and they, I think in one of the books it takes the gases of, I want to say it's Jupiter or Venus, and it essentially collapses the gas giant planet and down into a micro sun.
Yeah, Jupiter.
And Jupiter, and then all the moons, which are planet sized, which are really like almost Earth planet sized in some cases, several of them become habitable.
Yeah.
Because they now have a sun far enough out, and it's a micro sun.
Yeah, and then
And it provides enough heat and warmth that it actually terraforms the worlds.
I'm pretty sure. I think it was. I don't know what the sequel was to 2001, but the second one, they're on Europa. Another monolith appears on Europa.
Yeah, that's right. And that seaweed stuff comes
Yeah.
out of when they start turning on their lights and stuff, the lights, because it's survived off of so little energy, when they turn on their halogen lights or whatever, it gives it like a super burst of energy, and fast growing seaweed comes up out of the cracks
Yeah.
and swallows the ship
Yeah.
and the people. And yeah,
Yeah,
I liked that. That was cool.
Great movies, absolutely great. I will say, strangely, very high definition for being filmed in the 70s. Like,
A lot of set making.
yeah, Stanley
A
Kubrick.
lot of set making.
Don't get me started on Stanley Kubrick. But dude was running some amazing gear to be filming, and that high of resolution, crystal clear, beautiful film. Oh, jeez, I love 2001. I go back and watch it all the time. Stanley Kubrick is great. He is the master. So, all right, let's get on to the next one. This is the one that gave me the people bumps. It gives me, I say people bumps
Oh, yeah,
because
I
I don't like
like this one.
goosebumps. This one's gonna give you the fucking chills, man.
Yeah, I like this one.
Let me change focus so we can get this full screen.
The caption is a mysterious creature captured on CCTV in Vietnam. So, public security camera. Except that's not really what that camera looks like.
No.
But
Oh, that's spooky as fuck, man. Oh, jeez, I'm getting
ugh. and
I'm
what's
getting
funny
chills
is,
just
like,
watching this.
this tree is not that big, given that it's next to a fence. So this almost makes me think of like a leprechaun.
Yeah,
Because it's tiny.
and
It's tiny.
it seems like he's got horns on his head. His ears are down like a goat.
Yeah, they're down and pointy and stick out to the sides. Yeah, like a lot like a goat. But his eyes look like
Let me try to pause it on this guy.
dude from the Goonies.
Come on, zoom in there. Yeah, it's a weird one, man. That's just fucking wild.
And he's looking right at the person filming.
Yeah, so a like a nature reaction to anything in the wild is they're gonna freeze and watch whatever it is that they hear, and that's the vibe I'm getting. If this is fake, this is a damn good fake.
Yeah, it's once I realized what they were looking at, because I watched it the first time, I'm like, okay, it's a dead tree, right? Because a tree missing the top of it. But once they zoom in, I'm like, oh my god, it's a tiny man, tiny little leprechaun man.
Yeah, that's.
And he looks a little hairy almost.
I mean, dude's got some muscles. Like you could see, like some muscles. So dude's lean, but definitely like the ears are down at an angle, like a goat, or like a leprechaun, like a traditional leprechaun.
Yeah, and a big sort of bulbous
Massive
nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a protruding sort of chin. It's kind of like those creepy clay-faced creatures they'd make in old movies.
Yeah. If this is fake, I'm blown away by it. Let me see what some of these comments are. Dude says it's a tree elf. Another guy says that's my cousin Earl. Just looks like the broken top of a coconut tree casting eerie shadows because of lighting angles. Very good one.
I'm not into that one, no.
Yeah. Guess it's the kind of reels Instagram decides to show me at 2 a.m. That's Dobby. Oh, that's why it looks so familiar. He's got the ears of Dobby from Harry Potter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, One guy says it's the bat. One guy says it's his sister.
And tags her.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in foreign languages I can't read, but if that's fake, geez, I don't.
And I tried to look at it several times to decide if I thought it was just a broken part of the tree that was casting funny light, and I could believe that of the body,
but not the face.
But not the face. No, like the body, it could almost be the other side of the tree. Like the tree could be slightly hollow, and that could be the other side. Like if you forget his head, and it could just be a portion that's split open, right? And something's been making a nest in there, but not the face, dude. Not the face. Not the face. It would be hard to sleep at night. I would have been that jerk that would have tossed a rock to see if it moved.
I would have absolutely thrown something
I would
at it.
I would have to know before I went and tried to go get some sleep.
And this is why I want to own a gun. Yeah, that's just fucking spooky, man. This one gave my wife the chills.
Did it?
Yeah. She was.
Yeah, I thought this was.
She was like, "Oh, that one's a little too real for me." Yeah, it's a good one. Let's roll on down. Let's roll. So this is a. Oh, let me run through this. Oh, is there anything worth reading? Okay, yeah. So this is a UFO from 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And just recently, people are stabilizing this and pulling the video. It's fucking weird, man. It is weird. Oh. Yep, okay. We're not gonna... Yep. Nope, we don't want to like that. Get that out of there. So, this is the stabilized images of...
Shot of it.
Yeah. It's a weird UFO. So this thing blew by a 747 at cruising altitude.
Yeah.
So that is not a drone.
No.
That is not a balloon.
No.
Yeah, look at that thing. Tell me what you think that is.
I mean, I couldn't decide on this one because I am often. I mean, it sounds stupid that I'm always like, why isn't there a good video of a UFO? And then when they're like really good and really clear, I'm like, that's fake. So I mean, I mean that's dumb. But whenever they get a shot that's this good and this close, like I'm really confounded by it because, I guess actually I like this one more because it's not like a saucer shape. It's just almost it's almost like if you took a square and pulled all the points out on it.
It's a weird one.
And even the way the patterns of like whatever that reddish and grayish are go around the points of it. It's very it's somewhere between like see, okay, so hang on, don't hit play.
Yeah.
So on the right side of it, that right corner almost looks translucent.
Yeah.
That point, and the one facing us almost looks translucent. And so, my imagination wants to run and be like, "Oh, it's like a grown ship."
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that we're missing in an advancement in technologies. We're still assembling a bunch of tiny complex pieces, and that eventually manufacturing from like nano assembly would look much like a grown thing.
Yeah.
But it also, I mean, I guess this would be a pretty aerodynamic shape. Because each point's going to split the air. So let's say you had a ship that can change directions rapidly, without splattering the people inside.
Yeah.
You would want something different than a linear plane shape. That's why the saucer makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
But I guess this would also make sense design-wise. But it seems weirdly like it was trying to be evenly shaped, but then isn't.
Yeah, it feels organic.
Yeah, it feels organic. I guess that's what I'm getting at. It feels organic. So it makes me wonder, is this like did you see that movie it was the movie about the horse ranch with the UAP hovering around it. Oh, it's called Nope.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Nope. Yeah. So in it, like it starts out as, they think it's a flying saucer, right? And it's always hiding behind clouds or generating the cloud.
Yeah.
And eventually they realize that it's not the saucer, it is the creature.
Yeah.
The saucer is the alien. The alien is the saucer, like, and the cloud that's generating is its camouflage. And so that makes me wonder if, I guess a UAP doesn't have to be technology. It could be, the creature itself.
Yeah, it's a cool concept. I want to try to pause it on just this right frame. It looks like a whole corner is missing. Is it that one? Yeah, look. The whole corner is missing.
See, I thought that was just that translucent side.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. Oh, you mean something's missing from the rest of the design?
Yeah.
Or, compared with the rest of the design.
It's just it's weird, man. It's weird.
It's very weird, and it's got like these spirally shapes on it, but they're also sort of squarish, but they've been turned into spirals. Like it's very weird.
You know what?
It almost makes you think of like if you mixed a couple of different clays together,
the pattern,
like twisted them together, and then made a square and then stretched it out. Like
what the pattern reminds me of is like. Now let me get it where it's outside. So it reminds me of the mouth of an octopus.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. With the
Yeah.
beak closed.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's weird. It feels like hard, like this looks organic. It really does. It's a
I
fucking
guess
weird
I
one,
guess
man.
maybe that's what drew me to it because I have seen the video of it flying by the wing, right?
Yeah.
I've seen that one a couple of times, and you can't really see anything. I mean, other than that, there's definitely an object flying by the wing of the aircraft. But these close-up shots are, yeah, it's confounding. It's confounding to say the least. Because of course, I'm looking at it trying to be like, oh, well, where's the cockpit, and like, are those windows? But the truth is, given that we have no idea how one would travel from one habitable planet to another
Yeah.
in a reasonable amount of time, a ship that's not a generational ship, I'm trying to superimpose what we know onto a technology that is so far beyond anything that we know
Yeah.
to be able to do that it doesn't. That's probably why it clashes and doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
in my mind. That's why it stuck out so much, because it's a really clear picture.
Yeah. I've actually seen this one a couple years ago. I had a guy at Walmart that we would regularly show each other UFO videos, and this was one I showed him a couple of years ago. Yeah, it's wild, man. I don't even know what to make of it.
I don't either, but I'm with you, man. It seems it's got the hallmarks of being organic, or it's got the look of natural forms to it as opposed to something assembled.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking weird.
And it's almost like it must be spinning too, because
That front
the
point moves.
close-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, the front point's not in the front anymore in the next frame that's close up. That's very odd.
But geez, we're about halfway through now. All right, let's roll through a few of these.
Okay.
It says UFO recorded in the Netherlands and driver can be seen.
I don't know that I see a driver, but this one, here's why this one was interesting, though. This doesn't explain why it would be over the Netherlands. This actually looks like the side profile of some of the new stealth drones
Yeah.
that I've seen designs for. I mean, they're not secret. You can go look them up. They look a lot like the underwater Manta drone that they've been showing a lot of lately. But this looks a lot like a micro B-2 bomber.
Yeah.
This looks like a one-man. The B-2 bomber is like ancient technology now, right? I mean, still does a great job and is still unseeable, but it's massive and it's a two-pilot thing and travels super high altitude, super fast speeds, and is really made to do surveillance and deliver nuclear weapons. That's its whole purpose. So it's made to carry big payloads, but this looks like if you took a B-2 bomber, looking at it from the side.
Yeah, like wing end.
Yeah, wing end.
Yeah.
But it was a one-man fighter craft.
The only thing is it's sitting still.
Is it? Oh, I thought it was moving this whole time.
Yeah, watch when it zooms
Oh
out.
yeah, you do see what looks like the driver there. Yeah, see, I thought it was flying by this whole time.
Yeah, look
And then
there.
disappears
It's
in the
sitting
cloud.
still.
Oh yeah, I guess so. No, it's coming towards you and it's turning around. Yeah, it's coming towards you and then it veers off.
Okay, so that one could be military. I get that one.
Why it's over the Netherlands, I don't know, but I mean, I don't guess they have to have a reason.
Yeah, they could be anywhere.
But still cool. I mean, so
Yeah,
let's say it
absolutely.
is military. That's dope. That's really cool craft. No, I keep seeing this. I follow some design things on Instagram also, and one of them is this cool shot of a hawk side profile, like looking at it wing on,
Yeah.
and the shape of its body, and they show you the B-2 bomber, and it's identical.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it looks like that. It looks like that sort of flat on the bottom wedges over the top to a tail with the like curl of the wing, and it looks almost identical because that's where they got the shape to, for the B2. But that's what it makes me think of looking at it like that. But when it's coming head on, it doesn't look any different in shape. It still looks. So it might be a saucer. I just have no idea. But it looks like one man because it does look like a dude in the front.
Yeah, that's a
Looks like a joystick. And
yeah.
a dude in a flight suit or space suit, for sure. That's cool. That's really cool.
All right, so this next one, I had to watch this one a few times to catch it, but I'm gonna show you. Hold on,
I don't think I remember this one.
so there's a fence here.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna turn the light on. So I'm familiar with this effect that when you have security cameras up at night and you turn the light on, there's a flare, and you get like
Is it switches?
yeah, and as the light turns on, the whole screen gets really bright. So watch right here by this white pole.
Is that as it switches from infrared to regular camera?
Right. So this
Okay.
might not have infrared. I think it's just a regular camera, and
Or
it
just
was
a
in
night
low light,
vision
and
filter?
they flipped on like an outside light, and so you get this
Okay.
crazy flare. But right here in between, I'm pretty sure it's right here in between this pole and the side. You get a crazy shot of something, and it's just barely
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I did.
It was right here. They freaked the fuck out.
So where is this? Is in Vietnam?
Yeah. So like I don't know why they circling the fence there. But-
I'm not sure. Was there something on the other side of the fence?
So there was something
Two?
up here at the top of the gate. You see it move away?
Let me pull it up because I see the little creature.
Yeah, so
Two.
there's the little creature. And then when they walk out, right before they run off, at the top of the gate, the white gate, there's something that
Oh,
goes up and away.
when you look at it closer, like I zoomed way in for it to play, and yeah, I see why you ran. There's a little creature, and then there's
There's something at the gate that takes the fuck off. It's big.
you can even see something moving around on the ground, just like a set of eyes down where the middle rail of the gate is. It's just slightly above that move, like right there. That's what they're
Oh,
illuminating,
yeah.
the eyes.
I saw it.
Yeah, they're illuminating the eyes, and then it something giant spreads its wings and flies away.
Yeah, it's right there. There it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
because I thought it was the creature on the ground at first that they were talking about, but I don't know what that is. I don't know what the creature on the ground is either.
yeah. That's just
No.
that's fucking wild. That would be
Isn't that
my
wild?
reaction. Yeah.
And that seems like more of a cryptid thing, but dude, yeah,
Oh
it's,
yeah. That's good.
yeah, it slinks across the wall back there and then takes flight, but has like big wings. And the little critter running away beforehand, they don't even seem to emphasize that. So maybe maybe that's some
Like
sort of
we don't give a shit about the little guy.
yeah.
This is
Like,
big
what's this?
motherfucker taking flight.
I mean, I guess they put a ring around him, but
Yeah.
and that's it's weird.
yeah. That's wild,
weird.
man.
Wow. Yeah, now that I've watched it a couple of times, that one gives me the thing flying behind the gate gives me the chills. a
Okay,
little
so
bit, man.
I'm seeing chupacabra.
Oh, here, you want the translation?
Yeah, read it.
So where's
Chupacabra, witch, duendes, skinwalker, dick, dogman.
Dick Dog Man? Oh, I've heard that before.
Oh, so we've got a dogman later. We've got one of those later.
So it's not letting me
Somebody else said it's Dobby. That's twice we've heard Dobby tonight.
it's not letting me do the translate since it's in the saved
Okay, so
files.
Duende. That's South America paranormal or cryptid. Duende.
Oh, okay. But this is in Vietnam.
Yeah, lots of people are saying Duende. That's cool. Yeah, that's wild, man. That's really fucking wild. All right, let's move on to the next one. We've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 more.
Dang.
Yeah. Rapid fire. Let's go. UAP files again. So this feels like flares to me.
Yeah, except watch them. They flash. And they go out and relight and go out and relight, and they stay in a line the whole time, and they're moving forward at a pretty rapid pace.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
See what I mean? They are being propelled for sure. And they're going out and turning back on, going out and turning back on. Definitely not a flare flickering. They like the end one goes out and then they cycle out and then they light back up.
Ooh, yeah.
I thought the same thing, but I grabbed this because I thought of the Phoenix Lights.
So it says this video was recorded at 39,000 feet altitude. Shows a dozen unidentified flying objects flying over the South China Sea near Hong Kong, disappearing into the clouds. I don't know what this is, one pilot is heard saying. This is some weird shit. Some have suggested these are flares. Case remains unsolved.
Flares over the South China Sea, though?
Yeah, you're not going to drop flares over there without causing a diplomatic issue.
Yeah, and they're not, like I said, they're not dropping, and they're also way, way, way up there.
Yeah, they're a little
flares.
high.
30,000 feet.
Flares.
Yeah, 30,000 feet, and the lines stay consistent, and they light up and go out and light up and go out. Yeah, this was another one that I liked only because patterns, right? It stays in like a
Okay, so somebody made
like
a comment here. If they're flares, what's deploying them?
Right.
Good comment. Good fucking
Yeah,
comment.
because
Yeah.
I guess you could be like, oh well, those ones go out and the new ones light up at the end. It's like, okay, so what's dropping them?
Yeah. Yeah, because you would see if flares are lit from the moment they leave the plane.
Yeah. Well, so the flares that I'm thinking of are not the flares that you kick out to like disrupt missiles. Right? Chaff and flares? I'm
Yeah.
thinking the flares that they drop out over battlefields for tanks and stuff to
Yeah.
sight at night.
But not at 39,000 feet.
Exactly.
Not above the
exactly.
clouds.
No, and if there had been something dropping them, unless you're going to say there's a stealth craft that's dropping flares at 30,000 feet, which makes no sense, they would have picked it up on the radar.
Yeah.
I mean, even though you're not going to have a small private aircraft, but even small private aircraft have very good radar now. You're going to pick up anybody that's close enough for you to see for
Yeah.
sure. So, I thought this was really good.
Yeah, that's cool.
I thought it was really good. And pilots catch a lot of crazy UAP stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good one. For sure.
And a lot of it they don't even write down a report because, they don't want to seem trying to keep their license. And
Yeah,
not
they
seem
don't want to
crazy.
lose their pilot's license. What's this one? Oh, so this is I don't know if this is fake or not. This is one of those that, damn, if it's fake, it's a good one.
The only thing I could think of, here's what I thought this could be, other than UAPs.
Uh-huh.
So it's definitely a misty night,
Yeah.
right? My thought was, if there's some sort of drilling or mineral rig up in the mountains,
Yeah.
this almost seems like a big gantry system over top of a like mineral mining operation. But
But it's in
But-
front of them at first.
yeah,
And
and
it
I didn't know if that's because
moves.
the road is curving ahead of them, right? But it does seem like it moves a lot more than the road curves.
Yeah.
And it seems like the bottom of a triangular shaped UAP is what it looked like to me. But I was trying to rationalize, well, maybe, what else could it be? But it does it pivots around them much further than I think they are driving on the road.
Yeah, it's moving faster for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a cool one, man. I really like this one.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Super short, but I mean, it's moving away from it. First, it's right in front of them on the road, and then it ends up moving the opposite direction and behind them and off to the side.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of turning too.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh yeah. Aliens.
It's like it just sort of pivots to the side and then moves on with whatever it's currently doing. But then I often wonder what do aliens need spotlights for? Or
yeah.
marker lights?
The thing that crossed my mind was like, how big do the lights need to be? That's
I mean, if you can travel across, space or fold space or however it is that you're doing it, what do you need landing lights for? Like, I feel like you're way past needing to light up the ground at night.
yeah.
I feel like that's not I mean, we're past that with like reconnaissance craft. I mean, I just don't know what the lights are for. I mean, maybe it's propulsion, maybe I'm looking at it wrong, but yeah, it's odd.
It's a cool video. If it's fake, kudos to whoever
Very
made
good if
it
it's
because
fake.
that's good. It's real good.
Yeah, it's very good if it's fake.
Oh,
And
geez.
I even looked around the lights for like artifacting for them to have been, stuck in the video, and it all looks consistent at least.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that one tripped me up. So this is that one
is
you
the
were
one that I
talking
have
about
questions
earlier with
about.
the infrared stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like this is fake.
Yeah, so the first one says original footage, and the next says infrared. And I agree that the cloud clusters match, but it moves off the frame. But I mean, my thing is, unless they were filming in both infrared and regular camera, you can't go back and use, get the infrared info
Right.
from a regular exposure camera. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
I mean, feel free if you're listening to look up how infrared cameras work versus how a regular camera works. But even your home camera switches from one camera to a different camera.
Yeah.
When the lights go out, it's not the same camera. So I mean, I guess they could have been filming in with both cameras, but it says original footage and then it says infrared, and I'm like, maybe they're just expressing it wrong, but I don't.
Yeah. Let's see what some of these
It
comments
seems
are.
fake.
I can do this in Adobe After Effects.
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you.
So I kept this one in here just for the sake of conversation to show that these can be faked really easily. Because all you
Yeah.
got to do is invert the image or the colors
That's
and
that's what this
grayscale it.
looks like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It looks like they inverted the colors and then they added a bright object that doesn't change at all. I mean, it's just the same object, and then it's almost like it gets moved off the screen with a cursor.
Yeah. Not probably
It-
fake.
Yeah, it doesn't. See, and then when they zoom in on it, like nothing else is pixelated, but it is.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it.
Yeah, I'm not either. Moving on.
Moving on.
Moving forward. Oh, okay. So I don't remember exactly what the answer is to this, but I remember reading an article recently about what causes these lasers.
The green beams.
Yeah, it's military, and it's like a scanning thing.
Yeah, but what are they scanning for?
I'm not sure exactly
Topology?
it's. It's, I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, it's cool.
I mean, yeah, it's spooky, sure, but all this technology in the universe, these guys are coming from who knows where, and they're shooting laser beams. That seems a little to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
This honestly, military scanning for some purpose that we don't know makes more sense to me.
okay, so somebody even says
Still-
this is British housing estate.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
in
that's what it looks.
Colorado.
That's what I thought
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I thought it was British too until you read dude's comment and I looked at the corner. I was like, oh, they're saying it's Colorado. Yeah, it doesn't look like Colorado.
Yeah, that's just a weird one, man. And what are you gonna do? What are you doing at 3:55 in the morning, recording this guy?
I mean, that's a fair question.
All right, we're down. What is it? It's 10.
Up one.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the
All
next
right.
one. So, I don't know what this is, but it was interesting.
Yeah, Okay, so commercial planes will not fly this close together, but I could easily see how.
I mean, I don't know, and the other thing is the camera angle makes it look like they're flying up and they're not, they're flying forward.
Right.
And a plane hitting a certain pocket of air that leaves a trail is common. I mean, you see them over top of cities all the time. I guess the only weird part is that they're together and there's three of them and then there's two of them.
Yeah.
Especially when the three are together, that's really close. But otherwise the trails look just like the ones that all the planes leave from from disturbing moisture in the atmosphere with turbulence. So I don't know. It came across, so I sent it.
Yeah, this one's interesting because you see how close they were at the beginning of the trail there. They were really close together. So it's definitely not a commercial flight. So it's
And
probably
there are,
military.
There's a ton of mid-air collisions all the time too between private aircraft. I mean, it's if you took, when you take number of crashes per year, it's less than cars. But if you take number of planes in service, hours flown versus hours driven, and number of cars in service,
Yeah.
the death by aircraft is staggeringly high.
Yeah.
For private aircraft,
Yeah.
it's staggeringly high. Like orders of magnitude higher than cars.
The degree at which they're flying away from each other seems like it could easily be two planes are like, oh shit, we need to get away from each other.
Yeah, that's kind of what it made me think of too. But
Yeah.
they were presenting it as a UAP, so I don't know that it is.
Yeah. One comment. Moving forward. Oh yeah, this is the one that comes right by the plane.
Oh yeah, yep.
It's real small. So this is another one I seen a couple of years ago.
And it's funny, the way it flies by the plane is almost like it was standing still and the plane flew past it.
Yeah.
Like it was hovering where it was and the plane flew past it.
I'm gonna try.
And it's got almost this. It's got a very similar shape to that one that said you could see the pilot in it.
Yeah.
It has a similar shape, but it's not. It can't be near as big.
Oh yeah, dude, that's a UFO.
Dude.
Fucking aliens, bro. That's metallic.
So, yeah, and it looks kind of like a manta ray with no tail.
Yeah. That's fucking weird.
And so when I see these tiny ones like this, it makes me wonder, like, you know, I feel like drones are the natural progression for exploration because this seems like something that's probably not manned, given how tiny it is. I mean, maybe they're micro-sized aliens. I don't know, but it seems like, you know, reconnaissance probe kind of planet scanner kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a weird one, man. I don't even know what to say about that one.
I don't know. It's a very clear picture, especially when you pause it like that. It's I don't either because it's look at that. Yeah, it's got that sort of B-2 bomber shape, but it's got a tail on the back of it like a ray.
Yeah, but it's sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that was a B-2 flying by what I'm assuming is a Cessna,
Yeah.
it would have rocked that fucking Cessna.
Oh yeah, and that's what I say. It seems like it's not really the thing moving. It seems like the plane is moving,
Yeah.
and they just flew right by it.
Yeah, it's
and-
stationary,
'cause they
for
weren't
sure.
expecting it, and they honestly almost hit it. I mean, they're close enough that could have easily been a collision. I don't even think that's what they were. I can't even tell that they necessarily saw it. I think that they were just filming their flight.
Piece
Is
of
what it
me
seems like.
feels like they may have caught it on radar and they were watching it. And he's like, well,
Okay.
let me steer towards it and see what it is. Yeah, it's a weird one, man. I don't even
good.
know what to think about that. That's so, like I said, that's one I seen a couple years ago. But that one, man, it's wild.
Such a good shot.
Yeah, it's
Such a good shot. It would be cool to have this downloaded and do a frame by frame
yeah,
on it in an editing software. Dude, that's a really good one. Tiny, man.
yeah. It's
So tiny.
small.
But smooth and metallic.
Yeah. Oh, so this is the dog man that I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah, so this one was super weird. So
The movement is a little funny at the beginning, but like they turn around, they chase this dude,
yeah.
and I feel like, you know, it could easily be a feral kid because that's
They turn their Hilux around.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be, except its movement, it's like a weird loping movement.
Yeah,
Like,
there's a bounce to it that feels fake, like CGI.
I mean, maybe, or someone just being a dumbass and playing with their dogs. But it seems like if it's a person, it's a big person.
Yeah. It's, I mean, there have been reports of feral children,
Yeah.
but very rare. Very rare.
Yeah, there's that really old story of a little girl that the family was like it was a settler family in like the during westward expansion, that the whole family was killed. They thought the family was killed by wolves, but the family was killed by bandits, and the little girl was raised essentially by the wolf pack.
Yeah.
No one. I've never seen any like substantiating evidence of it, but it's a perpetuating tale.
I feel like I've read some evidence behind it. But the girl was brought in and studied, and eventually she was able to, learn English and told her story. I could be wrong. If I could find it, that'd be a great
that
episode.
sounds familiar. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's weird, but piece of me feels like it's CGI. It's just a little bouncy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess his loping run might account for that because he seems to be up on his toes, but it's I don't know.
Well, let's do the next one. So these are photos of something I can't read in another language. I'm assuming it says somewhere over in France. It's just a good UFO picture, man.
Yeah, and it's funny too because it looks very like 1970s sci-fi movie saucer.
Let me see if I can translate this.
So, an interesting, if you look at what we were building in the 1970s, right, just as a comparison,
Oh, okay.
if you look at what we were building in the 1970s and how quickly we changed our technology and how vastly different it looks now,
yeah,
and the rate at which we increase the ability to advance technology, think if you had their level of technology, how quickly your tech would change
yeah,
from advancements. So, I want to be like, it looks like an old school saucer. Well, I mean, I think our old school versus new school reflects what people are catching on video. That's what people put in movies.
So this says flying saucer UFO photographed in Corsica, France in February of 1971.
Okay.
Which
Makes sense.
yeah, it's kind of right on par. It's a very traditional UFO. The graining seems consistent. Again, I'm gonna dip into my knowledge of kind of antique photography. This is consistent with what you would see in the 70s. The only thing is, if this was the 70s, this thing would have to be sitting still. Or a really,
'Cause
really
the exposure
expensive.
rate's not that fast.
Yeah, you could do a high shutter speed, but you're gonna get blurring.
Mm-hmm.
But judging by the amount of grain, this is either sitting still, low light, or it's been altered.
Okay.
Because you get grain when you alter the photo or you change like the resolution.
Okay.
Yeah.
To try to drop something into it and fuzz it out.
Yeah, when you start to change like contrast and resolution on an old photograph, this is what you get. But it would have to be sitting still for them to get a good picture like this, as clear as that is. Hands down, it as detailed as that is for the 70s, definitely would have to be sitting still.
So there were or the best account of feral children, since I had to go Google.
Oh
it.
yeah, go ahead.
It's two little girls from 1912 in India,
Oh yeah.
actually raised by a pack of wolves, and studied and rehabilitated and so on. But yeah, it was 1912
Yeah, that would make
in
a
India.
good episode. We may cover that. It's very interesting. It really is.
Okay, so I thought the next one was good because I've seen
Oh, the
video
jellyfish.
that-
Yeah.
the jellyfish shot. So
So
the
we've all seen the jellyfish video.
yeah, but it's flying over an Iraqi base or
Yes.
an Iranian base.
Somewhere overseas.
But it's not one of our bases. It's one of their bases.
It's one of their bases, but we're occupying it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's caught on like low light video.
Yeah.
Or like a night video. It's caught at night.
So
it looks kind of like daylight, but
So the original video, and what I've gathered from the people that I follow, is it was caught on like something like infrared.
mm-hmm.
I've never seen this in full color before.
Isn't that wild?
So I've seen tons of different ideas about the jellyfish video.
Mm-hmm.
This is by far the best, most clear I've seen. However, with the amount of artifacting,
Yeah.
it feels fake. It really does.
Yeah. And in this, I guess part of what makes me feel like it's fake is it seems like they went to great effort to make it look like a spacesuit
Yeah.
and a guy hovering to try to explain the jellyfish videos.
Yeah. Because it moves angle, but the position of the rest of the craft, if you want to call it that, doesn't
Mhm.
change. So it's like they took it and they turned it a few degrees and
Mhm.
made it a different angle. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was the thing with the jellyfish video, was that it wasn't visible in the light spectrum. That's why the
Mm.
original jellyfish video was black and white, because it was infrared.
Okay.
So
That makes
seeing
sense.
a color photo of it is probably fake.
Yeah. But I thought it was a cool shot because it's if it's a fake, it's
Yeah.
at first glance it's cool looking.
But for the sake of conversation, the people that worked at that base
Mm-hmm.
and others that worked in that area have said that they've seen these things many, many times. But the jellyfish video that was released was pretty common, is what they said.
And that video too is cut shorter than the rest of the thing because it actually moves out over the ocean,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they continue to follow it or try to follow it,
Yeah.
and then it disappears into the water, if I'm not mistaken.
If-
Is the account, but there's no
Yeah.
video of it after the base.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all first or second hand account. So
Yeah.
it's hard to say. Excuse me. All right, what's this one? This is the UAP in Brazil just recently, July
Mhm.
7. So this is big news. Obviously somebody's shooting a laser up there, but so apparently there's a lot of footage of this one surfacing right now.
So I like this shot of it. There's another shot that's like a daylight shot that
Yeah.
feels like somebody took this shape and then made a fake.
Let me see. I've got another one. I thought I had another one. I guess I didn't. Maybe I just
I
decided.
didn't.
Oh
I
no,
didn't
here.
send you the other one because it looks so bad.
Oh, okay. Did we skip over this one? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah. See, now this one almost looks like that tent video. It's not the tent video,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it
yeah.
looks like it.
So this one's a little too clear. And then they show traffic. Why would they want to do that? You know, if I'm filming a UFO, I'm not moving off of the UFO.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they're looking to see if anybody else was seeing it.
But
I mean, it's a good shot if it's real.
the if you pay really close attention, it's changing shape.
Yes. Yeah, it goes from it gets taller and more bulbous to more flattened out.
Yeah. Which
And I don't know what to think about that.
it feels like a heat mirage.
Maybe, yeah.
But it's one of the few that I've seen that change shape, but slowly and very subtly.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, man. It is really weird. Like the ends will flare up.
Yeah, I see that. Huh.
And it's the movement of it that makes it change shape, that makes me feel like it's AI.
Yeah. Although AI is usually not normally that good at blending in the video with a real video,
Yeah.
because the rest of the video, like of traffic and stuff, doesn't seem, AI. Though I'm afraid we're only a few years away from not being able to tell the difference.
Oh yeah. It scares the hell out of me.
We're pretty close.
But it yeah, that Brazil UAP is different, man.
Yeah, that seems much bigger
Yes.
in this video. It seems like a much bigger thing, and it's just sitting still.
But in the flip side of that coin, I feel like so it's cropped. I feel like they were shooting a video of the laser beam. Because if it were me sitting there with the laser beam and a UFO in the sky, I'd be shining it on the UFO.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say, man. Yeah, a lot of people are saying it's fake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, let's move forward. So this is the UFO that's seen. Giant UFO recorded by the International Space Station.
Oh yeah, leaving the eye of the hurricane.
Yeah, then descends into the clouds.
Yeah, I do like this one.
So it comes out of the eye.
Yeah. And then traces across above it.
Yeah, and it leaves like a trail of clouds behind it. It's a cool one, but so like people are saying hurricane hunters, which they are big heavy duty planes that fly through the eyes of hurricanes.
Are they?
Yeah. Somebody else
I
saying
didn't know
it's
that
just
was
a
a thing.
shadow. Yeah. Because all the information they want from a hurricane is in the eye.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
A lot of silly comments. Nothing worth talking about, but it's a cool one nonetheless. Because it does look like it comes out of the eye.
And
But-
also, if that's as big as if the eye of that hurricane is as big as he claims, at the top of it, then that plane's moving incredibly fast.
Yeah. Or it's a really
His
small
eye is-
hurricane.
Well, I mean, he claims the eye is 20 kilometers across.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what the dude who posted is claiming, so.
So the size of the UFO is 2 kilometers by comparative calculation. Yeah, that's about right. That's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. If the eye of the hurricane is that big, I doubt. I mean, the planes that record that data may be big, but we don't have a. I mean, the biggest plane ever produced was that one that got burned up in the folks that Russia's conflicting with.
Oh, Ukraine?
Yeah, in Ukraine. Yeah, the biggest jet aircraft ever produced was in Ukraine. I forgot what they called it, but they got set on fire when they took the tried to take the airport.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it could transport whole diesel train engines, like the whole assembly,
Oh wow.
the whole thing. It could transport those. So it was massive. And I think, they had moved the shuttle with it more than once inside
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's huge, but it's still, you wouldn't hardly see it on a 20-kilometer wide span. And it's not fast like that.
Yeah, but it's hard to say. It really is.
It is. It is not a lot of context in it.
And there's no comments, so the ones that have 0 comments are kind of like, yeah, they're cool videos, but
Mm-hmm.
I want to give it a lot of salt. Oh, sorry. Now our last 2. Let's see. Brand new footage released thanks to filmmaker Mark Christopher Lee at The Pocket Gods for his new documentary. Footage apparently courtesy of John Hansen from the Great British UFO Learning Center in Stratford upon Avon. So this one is weird to me. I'd watched it a few times through. They're shining all these lights in the trees, but never directly at the light.
Yeah, I didn't know if they were shining at the trees for context. So it's not just dots on a screen.
Right.
And the lights come on and they go off. And there's like a cluster of them to begin with, and they, then it's one, and then it's a whole bunch. I mean, it's weird. Very weird.
And the fact that they have the time and date superimposed feels a little to me.
Oh, it is 2000.
Yeah, it's.
Eh.
I just feel like it would. I mean, I could do this same effect in some video editing software.
Yeah.
And shine a few lights on some trees to give it some context, but I don't feel like this one is super credible. Yeah, like people are saying it would be great to have audio. Yeah, I would like to hear the original audio.
Yeah,
Like people are like 80s, not 2000.
yeah,
Yeah, it's substantially poor quality for being 2000.
yeah. And that's a shame because UAP Files put this one up.
Yeah.
And their stuff's usually really good.
Yeah, somebody's saying it looks like a plane taking off. All right, well, let's get on to this last one.
Okay, I don't know what this last one is, man. It's
So-
very old footage.
So this one feels like Bouncing Betty to me. But Bouncing
What's that?
Betty was... So the Bouncing Betty was, I think, World War II? So what they would do is they would get a big airplane in the sky, and they had the bomb bay doors. They would open it, and they would have a 55-gallon drum full of explosives. And they would spin it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they would spin that barrel at a
Yeah.
high RPM and then drop it
Mhm.
because once it's spinning, it would bounce. And that's why they called it the
Mhm.
Bouncing Betty.
And it would keep it from end over ending.
Right. And
And
it
they'd
was,
use it to skip it across water to take out dams.
yes.
So they could fly in super low.
So that's
And,
what I feel like this is. It's so bright. Like the light is so bright that I feel like they took a Bouncing Betty video and edited the light over it because it's so
Well,
short.
I guess my issue is so whenever it bounces up, look at how it tilts up and then so bounce and then it's almost like it acceleration. Watch, bounce and then accelerate.
Yeah, I see it.
See what I mean? Now, I mean, I don't know. It looked very weird, but it is super old video.
And it says it's
It's
bouncing
very
over the
cool.
sea, but I don't see any water.
Somebody else. Yeah. Also, that was the thing. Those were really made to skip across water.
Yeah.
But there may be out there. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know.
It's a cool video. Nonetheless, it's a cool video. So we've made it to the end. It was a nice mix, man. Another rapid fire week. It was good.
I think my favorite one, honestly, is that leprechaun.
Oh,
The
yeah.
leprechaun and the and whatever that thing is that flaps away from the gate. Those are good. Those are really good.
Yeah, there's some good spooky ones in there.
I guess we ought to do an all paranormal rapid fire.
Yeah,
one
like a cryptid next
next
week
month.
or next month. Or-
Well,
or
like
this month.
like ghost
Okay, we'll do ghosts.
hauntings on camera kind of thing.
Yeah,
That one of the girl in her like dance practice studio downstairs with the mirrors
yeah.
and the dark like foggy object that moves behind her. That was really good. That was one of my favorites from the last time.
So I will keep my eyes peeled for ghosts, and I'll just start sending them to the podcast's Instagram. Well, if we could find them outside of Instagram, that would be better, because this format's a little weird. It's hard
Yeah,
to
let's
get
look at
full screen.
we'll look at TikTok.
Yeah. So I'll do TikTok and Facebook because I can download those if I need to.
Okay.
Okay. But we'll shoot for Ghost next month. What do you
Because
want
that'd
to
be cool.
What do you want to do for next week? We did a cryptid.
Next week.
We did cryptid last week, didn't we? Jersey Devil, wasn't it?
No. No, we had another episode between there, but no, we had that makeup episode because we were gonna
Oh
do
yeah.
ghost hunting equipment, but all the good stuff's licensed and they won't
Yeah.
let us use it.
So
Because they're no fun.
let's.
So next week, let me hunt around. Let me. Have you looked at that YouTube channel that I sent you?
No, not yet.
Eyes on Cinema.
Yeah.
Let's comb through there and see if we can find something that's actually got a story with it,
Okay.
other than just a video. And I'll ask my friend who's much deeper into the UFO side of this stuff than I am, and see if he's got a suggestion. Oh no, we did last week. We did the UFO in Africa.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah, we did the UFO in Africa.
So let's not do another UFO, especially since we did UFOs for the rapid fire this week.
Okay.
I'll dig into that YouTube channel, see what we can find, and maybe we can come up with a cryptid or a ghost story.
Let's see if we can find some ghost stories. If you got another one to tell of your investigations, that would be good.
I will dredge the brain, see what I can find. I didn't stick with that ghost hunting group very long.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of kids. So I didn't really stick
Gotcha.
around too long.
Gotcha.
That and it was nighttime work, and I worked during the day, so it was hard to do.
Right.
But
Yes, if you've got another story, and let me see if we'll either look for something famous or something with good evidence, because that's all. I always like those. I mean, even the Somerton Man, even though they've solved it, essentially.
Oh, yeah, it was a good episode.
Because there are so many threads and so many interviews done and so many puzzles with it. It's a good story. It's why it persists. Even still.
maybe we should do something like La Llorona next week.
Oh, well, if we do that, then we'll have to have Paul on here
Oh,
because because he's from New Mexico.
Oh, is he really? Oh, cool.
where
Yeah.
all of that originates out of.
Well,
So
maybe we'll do that the following week. So
Okay.
give him some time to throw some stuff together.
I'll see if he'll put together a La Llorona episode for us. And,
Yeah,
and
that'd
we'll
be
do
cool.
that.
Or he can come on and talk about it. Just something.
I know he said he and all his friends. He's in here listening to me say this. I know he said he and all his friends used to go look in the ditch bank for La Llorona at night,
Yeah, that would
and then they'd run.
it would
at the
it would
first
make a
sound that
really
they
good
heard.
episode because it is fucking spooky. It is fucking spooky. There is some recent footage, like within the last 5 or 6 years of La Llorona, that like I haven't seen it in 5 or 6 years, and it still gives me the chills just thinking about it.
Oh, and the legend's been around for a long time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's a deeply seated thing too in the Southwest. Like, I mean, you ask anybody from, New Mexico especially, but New Mexico, Arizona, that whole area, the whole like stay out of the ditch bank because La Llorona will get you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also a thing that moms use to get their bad children to behave, but
Yeah.
also it's a real folk belief
Yeah.
too. So okay, well, let's see what we can dig up for next week, and we'll plan for the one after that. We'll do La Llorona.
Okay.
With that.
We'll post on Facebook to let everybody know what this week's episode is going to be about. We got to do some digging, but we will come up with something. I promise. Yeah. Did you have anything you want to add before we closed it out?
No, I just there's always so many points that come up whenever we cover UFOs, especially. Like I said, we touched on the governmental side, and we touched on the technology side, and we've even touched on modes of how one might traverse from one habitable planet, wherever that might be, to here. Even the closest planet, even that's outside our solar system,
Yeah.
would be, far and above our imagining of how to actually make it happen. So, I don't know. I'm always fascinated by, especially because then I look at the craft and I'm like, okay, so, does the craft tell us anything about how they're doing it? And they really don't. I mean, they really mimic, at least as far as the ones that enter the atmosphere, they really mimic aerodynamic aircraft
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. They have similar traits. Although they usually tend to be symmetrical as opposed to linear in design, which I find interesting. Not all of them, but a lot of them tend to be some sort of symmetrical shape, radial symmetry or global symmetry or something like that, as opposed to linear. But no, I'll be honest. I'm always jealous, a little jealous of people who are sure that they saw one, know that they saw it, and had a whole experience, because I've never experienced anything like that.
Yeah, me either.
And I want to believe. So, and I guess it's not that I don't, but other people's videos only take me so far.
Yeah, it's eventually we'll hear something that rocks us at the core. Oh,
I
really
keep
weird.
waiting for that. Fingers crossed. That's what I'm hoping for in my lifetime.
Paul just sent me something.
Oh, did he? That's funny.
But yeah, we'll throw something together for next week. Probably either going to be ghosts or cryptids. We're going to try not to stick on the mainstream too much. So there is one cryptid that I would love to cover, but I haven't done much research about it. It's called, I think it's called the squonk. Have you heard about that one?
No.
That it
No,
is.
but it sounds great.
Let me put it in a nutshell for you. The squonk is so ugly that you can track it by its trail of tears, because it's so sad by how ugly it is.
No.
So maybe we'll do squonk next week or something. I'll see what I can find about it.
That sounds fun. If you can find some
I
stuff
think
on
he's
it.
in Pennsylvania.
The squonk. That's
Oh, he's
awesome.
it's a horrible creature. Let me see if I can find a picture right quick. It popped up in my feed this week.
The squonk.
Yeah, because immediately I was like, oh, it's like Squanch from Rick and Morty.
That's what I was just thinking. I was just watching season 7 today, or rewatching, because the new season's coming out soon.
Squonk.
They're going around in a Rick and Morty mobile, debuting episodes early in select cities.
Here you go. He's so ugly that no, it's not coming up. You can't see it. Let me try to just pull up a picture. He's so ugly that you can find him by his trail of tears.
The one down just under the frog thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
So maybe that's what we'll do next week is we'll talk about the squonk. There's some really sad pictures. Every illustration has it standing in a puddle of tears. Because he's just so ugly, he cries all the time. And so you just follow its trail of tears and you find him.
Find it.
Yeah. So maybe we'll cover the squonk next week.
Such a thing.
There's-
Never heard of
There's
such
so
a thing.
many cryptids out there. But
All right, well, cool. Well, you want to plug our socials?
yeah, let me pull up our socials, make sure we get everything correct. So again, if you guys want to reach out to us, email us at beyondshadowspodcast@gmail.com. We're on Instagram at beyondshadowspodcast. If you guys find a video that you want us to talk about in a rapid fire episode like we did this week, send it directly to us in a message on Instagram or Facebook, or email it to us. Send us a link, whatever. Again, our email is beyondshadowspodcast@gmail.com. Instagram is at Beyond Shadows Podcast, and Facebook Beyond the Shadows Podcast. There's many there's a bunch of us with the same name, so look for our logo, the two skulls in front of a microphone, and that will show you, if you follow the podcast, you know what our logo looks like at this point. Let me kill this stream. Oh, geez, wrong button. Wow, stream paused. Hold on, let me get rid of this this screen share right quick. Change window. This one, that one, go live. And
There you go.
show the desktop.
There
Yeah.
you go. That logo.
So that is our logo. Look for that. And that is our logo on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram. Feel free to reach out to us. Tell us what you think about the show. If you've got an idea for an upcoming episode, let us know and we will talk about it. Again, we're going to start trying to shoot for Sundays. Hopefully next week our energy will be a little bit better. I'm not going to lie, we're both probably pretty tired. I know I am.
I'm tired. Sick.
It's 11 o'clock for me and I'm half sick, so I am tired. I'm going to go to bed directly after we finish tonight. So,
Same.
yeah, that being said, I think it's about it. And do you got anything you want to throw out there before we close out?
No, thanks for tuning in. We're always glad that you're here to listen, and be sure to follow us.
Beyond the Shadows.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. I'll see you. Everybody.
It's alive! It's alive!
A creature like that, how would it ever die?
And this monster starts running right at me.
Annihilated by nuclear bombs.
Beast is not dead. I put 4 bullets into him.
Oh, you're crazy.
But I saw that monster too. All I want is for someone to believe me.
Contaminated.
Face. Horrible. Look like it would scare you to death.
All right, let's get to work.
Beyond the shadows.